Have you ever stayed awake at night, replaying a conversation in your head, thinking of all the things you should have said to the person who betrayed you? Maybe you're waiting for an apology that you know, deep down, is never going to come, and you feel stuck. You feel like as long as they don't say, "I'm sorry," they still have power over your peace. Welcome back to Heart and Scripture. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into one of the hardest teachings of Christ, forgiveness. Specifically, how do you forgive someone who isn't even sorry? If you've been carrying the weight of bitterness, I want you to take a deep breath. Today is the day that weight starts to lift. Let's go straight to the word. In Matthew 18, Peter asks Jesus, "Lord, how often will my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? As many as 7 times. Peter thought he was being incredibly generous. But Jesus looked at him and said, "I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. Now, Jesus wasn't giving us a math equation. He was giving us a heart posture. He was saying that forgiveness isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. But here is the part we often miss. Jesus never said, "Wait until they apologize, then forgive them." If you wait for an apology to forgive, you're giving your offender the keys to your prison cell. You're telling them, "I will only be happy once you decide to be a better person." That's not freedom. That's a different kind of slavery. Forgiveness is not about the other person's remorse. It's about your release. When we look at the heart, bitterness is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It rots us from the inside out. It clogs the springs of life we talk about on this channel. Scripture tells us in Ephesians 4 verse 31 to get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger. It doesn't say unless they really hurt you. It says get rid of it. Why? Because God knows that bitterness will destroy you faster than the original wound ever could. Think about Jesus on the cross. Look at the ultimate example of the way. While people were literally mocking him and spitting on him, while they were still in the middle of the sin, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." They weren't sorry. They weren't repenting. They were laughing. And yet, he released them. Now, let's be clear about what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not trust. Forgiveness is a gift you give someone else. Trust is a bridge they have to rebuild. You can forgive someone and still keep your distance. You can forgive someone and still have boundaries. Forgiveness means you are handing the debt they owe you over to God. You're saying, "Lord, I'm not the judge. You are. I'm letting go of their throat so I can grab hold of your hand." If your heart is heavy today because of a betrayal, I want to challenge you to do something radical. Don't wait for them to change. Don't wait for them to realize they were wrong. They might never realize it. Instead, go to the Scripture. Look at the debt God forgave you. When we realize how much we have been forgiven by Christ, the times we weren't sorry, the times we turn away, it becomes a little easier to extend that same grace to others. Forgiving someone who isn't sorry is the most Christ-like thing you will ever do. It's the moment you stop being a victim of your past and start being a victor in your faith. When you align your heart with this scripture, you're going to feel a lightness you haven't felt in years. That is the power of the way. If this message spoke to the season you're in right now, I have a small favor to ask. Hit that like button, not for me, but so the YouTube algorithm knows this message of hope needs to be shown to someone else who is trapped in bitterness today. And if you want to keep aligning your heart with Scripture every single week, hit that subscribe button and join our family. Is there someone you need to release today? You don't have to say their name, but comment, "I am letting go," as an act of faith. Your peace is too expensive to let someone else's silence steal it. We are Heart and Scripture. See you in the next episode. God bless.